phone. If that is you and you prefer ironing or washing up or doing chores to being with us, then just turn us off, because it can't be us against the ironing. It has to be your full attention, because when you really do connect and you are committed to learning, taking those notes, and wanting to absorb all the great stuff that we're going to share with you tonight, then you're going to get the most out of the evening. Please do feel free to pop any questions you have in the chat box. Now, it doesn't matter how big or how small the question is, because what we've got is Philo and Chris are going to be managing the chat box as we go along, and periodically throughout the whole training, we're going to stop and we're going to take a few questions and we're going to answer them live. And those questions that we don't answer live tonight, then obviously you can present them to us or your upline and make sure that you get the answers that you need to move your business on. Now, we are going to be sticking to time. This will be finished at 9:45 tonight. So without any further ado, I want to hand you over to Diana, who is going to take you through the first 2 or 3 slides in the presentation. So Diana, over to you.
Hey everyone, happy mid-August. There's never ever been a better time to work towards manager and to help your teams to work towards manager. The growth that Forever is having is, for me, it's impressive, but it's not really impressive because we've been around the business more than 2 decades for some, and we knew that the growth would come during the pandemic. But listen, I've got a really special message, and I hope I'm not going to speak out of turn, because you know what? This is a really special program. And I get to say that because I have been with Forever nearly 19 years, and I have had the privilege and the pleasure to be working with Jane, Chris, and Philo for most of that time. And I can tell you that it is a rare opportunity to have 4 top UK leaders come together and to give you total undivided attention. It is really rare, and it's rare because, you know, Philo, Chris, and I are all leaders in Jane's team, but Jane has a team of thousands of leaders in 42 countries. So to be able to carve out time to co-host a session program like this is unusual. And I want you to, well, if I was in front of you, I'd be shaking you saying, hey, you gotta really just play full on, because everything you're ever going to experience in building your business, the emotional roller coaster, the highs, the lows, the disappointments, the celebrations, the learning curves, the successes, the relationships you're going to build, we have been through it all together. And I know that you are in the best possible hands to go on to make your mark within your family, your friends, in your life. You couldn't wish for a better group of people. And I would ask you to really take note of what Jane said at the beginning about really giving this your attention, because it's about us committing to you, and we're looking for that commitment in return. If I look at why Forever continues to shine in the network marketing industry, in the business world, in the health industry, is because of their core values. And again, the reason why, a foundation reason why Forever is thriving in this pandemic is because, to paraphrase Rex Maughan, our founder's words, he said, this business is based on the idea, the concept that people would be motivated to help other people. And that's what we do, and that's why we come together to support you. When we look at, you know, why Forever and everything that's on offer to you, whether you're brand new and just getting started with us, or whether you've been with Forever a little while and are now looking to scale your business to the next level, I really want you to walk the talk of Forever's values, because what you get with Forever is an opportunity to build true financial security. That if you build this business on the best practice, on what we call good business disciplines, what you really have is an opportunity to secure your financial future, to develop an income that will pay you for the rest of your life. So no shortcuts. It's going to take hard work. And Rex Mon says it's okay because people who work harder are happier and more fulfilled. Let's have a look at what you get with the opportunity with Forever. You know, it is a privately owned company, and that is something that impressed me when I first joined Forever, because I'd come from a corporate background, and from a corporate background, I had always heard of the term shareholder value. That means decisions were being made based on the number one reason: could we make the shareholders, people who had invested, the investors in the business, could we make them more money? Decisions were not being made based on, was it good for the people? Would the business still be here in 5 or 10 years? Or are we just going to get as much out of it as we can to float it on the stock market or to sell it to the next set of investors? That doesn't happen in Forever. Every decision that's made is made by the family and its very close executive team who have been with the family for decades. Every decision that's made has been made with your best interest at heart. And that should feel really, really good, particularly in the times we're living in today. Some would say Forever is 42 years old. Maybe they're a little bit old-fashioned. I don't see them as old-fashioned. They're very forward-thinking in their product and research development. Where they are old-fashioned, if you want to call it that, is in their disciplines. Now, disciplines are universal laws. They don't change with time. Tactics might, but universal laws don't change. And one of these universal laws is Forever has never had a loan. They will not put people at risk. Old-fashioned, because when they pay something, they pay for it cash, not on credit. So they're cash rich and debt free. That means your financial position is secure with Forever. Decisions are not being made. They're going to put our financial well-being at risk. And when you look at their history of the masses, tens of millions of pounds, dollars, euros that they've invested with their new facilities, their new equipment, manufacturing, research, etc., and it's all paid for by cash. When you look at the number one reason why businesses go out of business, it's because they run out of cash. You just have to turn the news on to learn that. Cash rich, debt free. Hold that really, really high. And that has fueled their 42 years of continuous growth. Sometimes people say to me, oh, but it's not a new company, as if it's a bad thing. And I say, whoa, it's a good thing that they have 42 years of consistent growth. There's proof. It's a proven business building model. And with that, Rex's vision from the beginning was to help people, not just in America, which is his hometown, but right around the world. And today, trading in over 160 countries. Now, when I first joined Forever nearly 19 years ago, there was no online connections. So it was exciting, but nowhere near as exciting as it is today. Because I would bet that every single person who's joined us tonight, from wherever you are around the world, you all know at least one person who does not live in your own country. And that means you have the opportunity to share our products and our opportunity with people right around the globe. And the products are consumable. Now, I come from a business background. I know how important it is to have consumable products. What that means is the products run out every single month, so your customers will come back. It's not a one-off sale that we're looking for. We're looking to help healthy people stay healthy and have that repeat business element to it. So if you look at the essence of the benefits you get, it's uncapped income. You'll never be told that you're earning too much or to be downgraded. Because we operate in over 160 countries, you can build multiple income streams. You can build incomes in all those countries around the world. And the leaders you're hearing from through this program, we all have global businesses, some bigger, some smaller, but we all have multiple incomes. You know, my husband, Jeff, who does my accounts, thank goodness, because we'd be nowhere if I did them. He came running into me last week saying, have you seen how much our income was from our global businesses last month? I said, no, well, I haven't. And we were both taken aback. So it's a huge, huge opportunity. Now, your business will grow at the same rate as your personal development. What we do in Forever is actually we grow people. And it is about becoming the best version of yourself in your whole life. And the skills you're going to learn will benefit you right across the different areas of your life. Of course, financial freedom, time freedom, legacy style business choices, all that means is you get the opportunity to shape your future. You get to design your life wherever you are. You know, there is nothing in my background to suggest that I would have the success that I've had today. And that's why I'm excited about this program, because in Forever, what we do is duplicate our time and duplicate our productivity. And that is what allows you that lifestyle that a 9-to-5 job can't give you. But you do need to prepare for success. And you know, I love this next bit, because this is going to set your mind up for what it's going to take to really achieve your potential. And I'm going to reiterate what Jane said. Please have your notes ready. You don't want to miss a golden nugget. So let me pass you to Diamond Manager. She's in great demand around the flipping world. We kind of take her for granted. We do,
Yes.
but listen. Yeah, no, we do. Get ready and get listening, because you're not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Well, that is exactly what we're hoping to achieve, isn't it, Diana? And
Yes,
here
it
we
is.
are. You know, here we are. Just 3 days ago, it was my 27th anniversary in Forever. Can you believe? And I am as excited today as I was when I first joined. But when I first joined, one of the things that became very apparent to me was I had to be prepared for success. You know, I think it's fair to say that for a huge amount of people that get involved in our business, they get involved and they believe that just because they sign a form, just because they buy a box of product, that they are entitled to success. And success doesn't work like that. I think there's a whole journey that we have to go on alongside the product, alongside the marketing model within our industry to prepare ourselves for the success we're looking for. So how does it start? What does the success cycle look like? Well, first of all, we need to have an understanding, a really deep understanding of what we're involved in. And by having a deep understanding of what we're involved in, we gain very much needed education. And one of the reasons that we need to be educated on what we're doing is because when we get rejected, when we have people maybe laugh at us, maybe say we're a bit mad, maybe tell us to get a proper job, maybe give an opinion that isn't in alignment with our own views and values, we begin to allow those feelings to chip away at us. So what we need to do is we need to have a clarity and understanding on what we do. And the way that we get that understanding is through reading, through listening, through trainings, and through activity. Now, I'm an avid reader, and I used to be an avid listener when I was in the car traveling to and from meetings. But I must admit, I'm the guilty one now, because we're working from home and pretty much my entire day is taken up with a Zoom call. I maybe don't listen to as much stuff as I should do, but I've always got 2 or 3 books on the go. And what's really interesting, when you read a book as a brand new FBO, a certain amount of it will resonate with you because of where you are today. But when you pick that very same book up, maybe 6 months down the line and reread it, you will reread it with a whole different mindset, a whole different opinion, a whole different view on what you're doing and the vehicle that you've chosen in order to be successful. So if you want to really have an understanding of our industry and what we do and how we do it, then you need to educate yourself. Books, audios, trainings, and activity. But please be mindful. If you're not certain what to read, ask your upline, because like with so much information nowadays, there is the information from the people who we truly believe are relevant to your growth, and there are those people that write a book purely based on theory. They've never done it before. So be mindful of what you're listening to. Coming to trainings is vital, and this obviously is a brilliant training platform, but then you get a greater understanding when you actually begin to implement what you learn through your own activity. Now, obviously, if you have more understanding of what you're doing, then you need to build your belief. And for a lot of people, this is a hard one. You know, you've got to have belief in forever. And my advice to you is get a copy of the International Directory, or 40 Stories for 40 Years, or even just go on the foreverliving.com website, click onto About, and just read and watch all the amazing drop-down videos and the story and the history of forever. Educate yourself on Rex's vision, his philosophy, his mission statement, and how forever over the years has grown and grown and grown and grown to be this 42-year-old company in 160 countries. And, you know, you need to believe in the company, because, you know, whether we like it or not, there are new, shiny startup companies coming into the marketplace. You know, they may brand themselves in a different way. They may do some hard-hitting marketing. And you need to believe in forever, because it's very easy in the early days, if you lack belief, to be enticed away to an opportunity that will probably not stand the longevity of time and may let you down in years to come. So you need to believe in forever. It needs to sit comfortably with you. It needs to be in alignment with your own values and ethics. You need to believe in the industry. You know, network marketing is it's a force for good around the world. You know, it pays out over 208 million a day in bonuses globally, and is growing at an exponential rate right now. And it really is, with the right company, the industry to be involved in. And you need to educate yourself on the network marketing sector, because if anybody ever challenges you and says, oh, network marketing, I've heard of that. I knew a friend who had an auntie, they weren't very successful in it. Rather than that impact on your decision, what you should say, well, I'm deeply disappointed about your friend's auntie not being successful. That's not my experience. I chose network marketing because, and state your intentions and be able to respond accordingly. You need to believe in the product. And I don't think that any of us, that's a problem. These products are simply amazing. And once you use them and you expand your product usage, you won't go back to any other product. But the one that gets everybody, every single person, me and Diana, Chris and Philo, we've all gone through this when we first started out on our journey, and that is believing in yourself. Unfortunately, we live in a world, not right now, always, whereby we are knocked and we are condemned and we're criticized and for our decisions, and we have people that don't believe in what we're doing. We have people trying to stop us doing things, all for maybe their right reasons, but not for the journey we want to go on. So you need to stop letting outside influences impact on your decision. Maybe past experiences and situations, that mustn't stop you, because this is about you. This is about your decision to get happily involved in forever, to allow forever to be the vehicle to allow you to achieve your goals and dreams. And if you don't believe in you, ain't nobody going to believe in you. So belief in forever, the industry, the products, and you. It's really interesting as you start having a greater understanding, and as you begin to believe more in the various sectors we talked about, what you will find is, as you will build your understanding and build your belief, you will understand the need for commitment. Now, commitment is fundamental to success. You know, you hear me say it time and time again. I didn't join Forever to give it a go. I didn't join Forever to see if it would work. I didn't join Forever to try. I didn't join Forever on a whim. When I got to the stage of joining Forever, I joined Forever to be successful. Now, my understanding wasn't in place and my belief wasn't 100%, but I had committed to my decision. And for all brand new FBOs, we ask nothing more of you other than to commit to the opportunity for a minimum of 1 year. That's 1 year of working the system as we explain it to you, as we coach it to you, and as you begin to learn it. It's 1 year. 1 year of full-on commitment. Attending all the events, being 4cc active every month, sponsoring every month. In other words, completely embracing the process. Because what you will find is, as you commit to the business mentally, something begins to happen. And that is, you will take the action that you need to take. Because once you commit to something, then what you're saying is, okay, I'm committed, tell me what to do. Show me what to do. Show me the process. So the process is share and use the products. And again, I cannot emphasize enough, don't just use the products that you get in your Start Your Journey pack. Every single order that you place on Forever, add a new product, add 2 new products, add 3 new products, add as many as you can afford, because the more products that you use and have a story to share, the more products that you will retail to other people. And we need to be consistently using and sharing the products every month. And you need to share the opportunity. You don't need to share the opportunity on the days that you feel like doing it. You need to share the opportunity every single day that you've committed to your business. Now, for some of you who are very part-time, you may be saying, well, I work my business three days a week, in which case on those days, I'm fully committed to sharing the opportunity. It could be that you are part-time, but part-time every day, in which case you should be sharing the opportunity every single day. Because without that commitment and without that consistency of your actions, what will happen is you'll stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, and you won't gain any meaningful momentum. You need to be recruiting team members consistently. And if you're not recruiting, then you have a linear business. And a linear business means you may do very well on retailing. You know, you may make a few hundred a month, maybe even a couple of thousand a month, but there will get a point where you can't physically go anymore by yourself. So we use and share the products, we share the opportunity, we recruit team members, we coach our new people to do exactly the same, and we plug them into team training. And again, let me emphasize this, you don't try and do all of this by yourself. This is team supporting team, supporting team, which is what we're doing tonight. We are plugging all the FBOs into a team event because together everybody achieves more. And guess what happens as you take action? You get the results. And the results show themselves by way of money. And we make money every month if we're committed to taking the action every month. We can build a business that gives us time to enjoy with the family, to enjoy the things that we enjoy doing, alongside building our forever business. And it gives us security. And right now, as we're in this crisis in the world, the one thing that people are looking for more than anything is security, immediate security and long-term security. And we have recognition and fun. You know, I was talking with a brand new FBO in the team, well, a new supervisor in the team the other day, and he was blown away by the fact he got a fantastic pack from Forever, recognizing him as a new supervisor, sending him a fantastic certificate and a personalized letter, just saying, well done, we recognize your efforts. And I can assure you right now, all of us, no matter what level, thrive on recognition. Now, what's really amazing is as you start getting results, guess what? You have a greater understanding. And as you have a greater understanding, guess what? Your belief grows. And as your belief grows, guess what happens? You have a greater commitment. And when you have a greater commitment, guess what happens? You take more action. And when you take more action, guess what? You get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger results. So this sort of success cycle is fueled by these 5 key elements: understanding, belief, commitment, action, and results. And all of it is underpinned by your why. If you don't know why you're doing this business, then you're going to struggle to get off the starting blocks, because it's your inner passion, your desire for change, your desire for something that you haven't got that you deeply want, that is going to put your business into momentum. So, preparation for success, understanding, belief, commitment, action equals results. The more you do, the bigger the results. The more the results, the greater understanding, the greater commitment. And guess what? You'll be ticking those goals off before you know it. So before we go on to the next section, Philo, have we got any questions that anybody's asking yet? If so, do you want to shout out, or is everybody transfixed at the moment on the info?
Everyone's very, very excited. No questions so far, great.
Brilliant. Don't forget, guys, if you've got a question, type them into the question in the chat box. We are here to answer them for you. But without any further ado, I want to pass you back to Diana. She is a Sapphire manager. I am proud to say she's one of our QLS millionaires within the organisation. I know she gets embarrassed when I say that, but she's done it. And we're really proud of the way she's absorbed and become not just an amazing coach, but equally an amazing student. And to be a great coach, you've got to be a good student. So what I want you to do as we go into this next section, which you will see in your First Steps to Manager, which is the first part of the business building process, which is, why forever, is I want you to put two hats on. First of all, what Diane is going to teach you about your own personal goal setting. And secondly, about how you might engage with a new FBO that you recruit in the next few days and weeks to coach them to be effective at setting their goals. So Diana, it's a great pleasure to hand over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for embarrassing me.
Okay.
That's what happens when she's on before or after you, So I'm going to say it again. There is nothing in my background, education, my upbringing, nothing. There's absolutely nothing to suggest that I would go on to live the lifestyle that I've lived. And I know, my husband knows, my teenagers who are 16 and 19 all know, we all know, we live the life we have because Forever came into our lives. And if you're new, that might sound a little bit corny, because it sounded corny to me 19 years ago. When I joined Forever, I half believed it. I half believed that it was possible for me. The half that I did believe was that it worked, because we had done our research and, we looked up Forever's accounts and we could see that Forever worked. So that was the half we believed. The half that I didn't believe was, would it work for me? And that's something I really had to work on was developing my belief. And I did exactly what Jane shared about reading, listening, attending every single event that was relevant to my vision of what I was looking to achieve. And this bit here in the First Steps to Manager book, and if you don't have this, please fish it out, but don't miss out what we're saying. I want you to grab this, because you're going to want this every time that we meet. It's not a surprise at the beginning of your First Steps to Manager, there are 2 pages dedicated to helping you get clear about what you want. And I kind of glossed over this in my first few planning meetings with my sponsor, only because it kind of sounded a bit hippy-dippy, a bit airy, not really real for a normal, ordinary, everyday person like me. And yet I want to share with you that, Jane, is my signal going? Or is it all okay?
We're good. We can hear you perfectly.
Okay. But what I've learned is that there is a whole science dedicated to, if you want to use the term, goal setting. And, if the term goal setting puts you off, don't call it goal setting. Call it, this is what I want to achieve and why I want to achieve it and how I'm going to do it. How about that in plain English? Because it's something I glossed over the first 8 months in my business, and it's become a regret of mine. Because when I was 8 months into my business and having achieved not a whole lot, I was a supervisor, but I was stuck. I decided it was time to embrace all these amazing things that I was being shown and stop cherry picking the things I thought were relevant for me. You see, that's one of the great things you get about Forever, is that all the guesswork is taken out. You just follow the people who have gone before you. One of the secrets of success is align yourself with people who have already achieved what you're looking to achieve. Don't cherry pick, trust the system. And so I embraced goal setting, and it's become a real passion of mine. I'm going to show you some stuff, quite personal stuff, and in the hope that it will inspire you to treat this bit with the respect that it deserves. Because understanding and developing a crystal clear vision about where you want to go. And listen, we're not here to set your goals. We're not here to say you have to do this or you have to do that. No, you're in the driving seat. That's what you get with Forever. But if you don't get clear about where you want to go, then quite frankly, anywhere will do, which will mean where you are will do. And I'm going to go on a limb here and say that, you know what, you've all joined Forever for a reason. You are looking for something that's missing, or you're looking for something to be improved, or you're looking to help other people who are missing something or to improve something. And that's the starting point. That's the direction. And when we, okay, so I got lost there for a second. I'm getting so excited, I can't follow my own thoughts. So when I looked at this idea of getting clear about where you want to go, the best way we can help you is you to help yourselves. Because success requires specificity. It requires real specifics about where you want to go. I certainly, in my first planning meeting, when my sponsor asked me what it is I wanted, I flippantly said, I want to earn £10,000 a month, working flexibly around raising a family. My son was 6 months old at that time. I was hoping to go on to have another child, which I'm blessed I did. And it was kind of flippant. I didn't really truly understand why that goal was important to me. And so I want to help you break it down to get you started, because it's like anything else, like riding a bike. Once you got it, it's a tool in your life skills toolbox that you'll be able to use in every area of your life. And listen, I know I'm qualified to share this, because if you look at my 18 years, not 19, because I didn't do it in my first year, but if you look at my last 18 years, everything I've achieved in my business life with Forever, in my personal life, with my children, I have had a vision board, a goal set of some shape or form. It works. It's trusting the system. But also it's important to get a foundation. Oh, that's what I was going to say. You know, this is the foundation to your future. And, you know, I grew up in the city of Toronto, where, you know, I was surrounded by high-rise buildings, skyscrapers. That's where I grew up. And I watched many buildings develop from the ground up. And when a new skyscraper goes up, the workmen arrive at 6, 7 a.m. and they disappear underground for months. And what are they doing? They're building a really deep foundation. And the taller that building is going to be, guess what? The deeper that foundation needs to be. Because otherwise, if it's a very shallow foundation, you have this tall skyscraper, you know, one mega thunder windstorm is going to knock the whole building over. That's the metaphor I love to use for our business. Your goals, the things that really matter most to you, the things that you're really prepared to work for, is your foundation. It's your foundation to your skyscraper, so that no matter what storms come, and storms come in disappointments or learning curves, etc., you are going to be fixed, because I guarantee you'll not find another opportunity out there that can give you and deliver everything that Forever can. And that I knew. I had done my research. It was just about, was I prepared to work for it? And write this down, because when the promise is clear, the price is easy. I'll say it again. When the promise is clear, the price is easy. But you've got to be really specific. So it's not about saying, Okay, so I'm going to suggest you set your goals maybe in 2 different ways or 3 different ways. Number 1 is, what do you need in the next 90 days? Need goals, need goals. Jane taught me this. What do you need? What do you need to earn? It's great to say I want a new car, but that's somewhere down the road. But right now I can't pay my bills. So what do you need to do right now? So next 90 days, write a list of things that you need to have happen to improve your life, to fill the gap, to make that change. Really think about it. And then think about beyond that, the next, say, 6 to what month, 90 days is 3 months, 3 months. And then think about 3 to 6 or 3 to 9 months or 3 to 12 months. What's really important to you? So for an example, my first 90 days goals was I wanted a cleaner. I wanted to be able to pay for swimming lessons for my son. I wanted to be able to put money aside for us to have a holiday, because I'd given up my job, and with my job went any sort of holiday. But I knew I also wanted to go to Gran Canaria, to a hotel, a suites hotel, which we'd been to before, which we couldn't afford to go to because I'd given up my job. It's that kind of specifics. I knew exactly what swimming lessons, what swimming pool, what time and day of the week they were going to happen. I knew how much a cleaner was going to cost me. It's that kind of nitty-gritty detail. And so a process I have followed is, and I'm just going to do a quick flash because they're personal, but I started with, just writing a list of things, my willing to work for list, things that meant something to me, that I was prepared to get up half an hour earlier, listen to that audio tape one more time because it didn't quite make sense the first 6 times I listened to it. I'm not that smart. Listen to that audio tape one more time, go to one more training event, rewrite my who do you know list one more time. What's going to make you go that little bit extra? It starts with a list, and then break it down in priorities. What's going to make a difference in the next 90 days? And then maybe look at the next 6 to 9 months and chunk it down. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. Chunk it down into stages. But don't fall into the trap of making the goals, oh, I want 20 customers, or oh, I want to have more time, or I just want to have a bit more money. The wanting the 20 customers can be a how you're going to achieve that extra income, but it's not the goal. The goal is, what can we help you to achieve? And if you think about it, there's 3 parts to a goal. The what is the goal? So for example, is I want to earn 500 pounds a month. So my first goal was to earn 1,000 pounds a month. That was the goal. That's the what of the goal. The how of the goal, how was I going to do it, was to build customers and to build a team and show the team to do the same. Most people get those 2 bits, but they leave out that third most important bit, and that's the why. So we've got the what, we've got the how, and the why. The why is that list of reasons. That why is swimming lessons, family holiday. It's making decisions based on what we need, not what we can afford. It's the real specifics, and those reasons, that why, the emotional connection, is where your motivation comes from. It's where you're able to dig deep and start to think creatively about how you can manage your time differently to make more time to put towards your business, knowing that you are going to realize the promise of that goal by putting the effort in up front. It's it's called, having that fire in your belly. It's what makes people unstoppable. It's what makes us 19 years on, for me and Philo. I think Chris is 20 years on, Jane 27. It's what makes us, so passionate and still so excited about what we do. Why? Because we still have goals. As we achieve a set of goals, we're working to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And so first is starting with a list, and then I want you to bring it to life. And this was the bit which I thought was really airy-fairy. So you write it in your first steps to manager, and this is at the beginning of the book because it's the foundation to your skyscraper, remember? So the more time and attention you give this bit, and the more emotionally connected you are, the stronger the foundation is going to be to the skyrocket of the business that you're going to develop. And then it's bringing it to life. And when I saw Jane do a training on what I'm going to show you, I thought she was a bit mad. And that is creating a vision board. And a vision board is exactly that. It's pictures representing the things you're working towards. Because a mistake can be that you write a list of goals or need goals, things that need to happen, or a wish list, things that you want to have, like a new car, or holidays or whatever. And you then write this list and you tuck it in a drawer and you never look at it again. And I have worked with people who have done that. They think just the act of writing a list and tucking it away in the back of a cupboard is the secret. No, the magic is bringing it to life and taking some pictures and creating a board. You know, you can use the back of a box, you know, a cardboard, or you can use a book. This is a poster, and it's just pictures of the things that were on my first vision board, all the things that I was working towards. And then I started to break it down. I started to take one of the goals at a time. And I started with supervisor, that 300, 400 pounds a month. And then I started with manager, and I have a vision board just for manager and all the things that I wanted manager to give me. And then I chunked it down again to car plan and all the things and why, you know, the car that I wanted to have and why I wanted to have it. And then the family holidays, you know, the long trips, the charity work that I wanted to do, and which I have now done. You know, the cars, the holidays, the memories, the chairman's bonus, the world travel, linked to the different incentives, Eagle Manager, chairman's bonus. I have a stack here of vision boards that I've created across the last 18 years. I'm sat here right now staring at two of my boards, and they're very personal, so I'm not going to show them to you. I've got one which is my business, my forever vision board, and I have another one here, which is my, I just flash it, which is my personal one. You know, we don't just say, we don't just tell you to do this stuff. The reason why this group is so special for you is because we only coach what we do. And so I know if you look ahead the next 90 days, the next 3 to 6 months, the next 9 and 12 months, the next 2 years, with this business, you can take your life in a totally different direction. You don't have to have 100% belief today, but you do have to have the courage to be honest with yourself about what really matters most to you. And for me, the thing that drove me the most was I didn't want to be making decisions based on what we could afford. I wanted to make decisions based on what my kids needed. I wanted to give my kids the best start in life. When the promise is clear, the price is easy. I was not the fastest achiever. I was not the slowest. I did have to have Jane whack me across the back of the head a number of times. But what drove me is I had a really deep foundation to my skyscraper that I've gone on to build with forever. So I want you to take away one more concept. The goals will either, there's a push-pull effect to your goals. Let me give you an example. I was really unhappy in my career, and the driving force behind the 1,000 pounds a month, 1,000 pounds a month was to make up a little bit of the income I had let go because I didn't go back to work. So I had this fear of going backwards, of having to go back to work. And so this goal was pushing me away from something that caused me pain. Yeah. So pushing away from pain, or something exciting, a goal that pulls you towards something more pleasurable. You know, my new car, my car plan was pleasurable. I was prepared to work for that. And again, so you can think about, these are emotions. Everything that we do is emotion driven. The decisions you make, the people you hang around with, the TV programs that you won't watch because there's no CCs in TV, but the YouTube videos that you'll watch, It's all driven from taking you away from something which causes pain to pull you towards something that causes pleasure. So when you think about emotions, think in terms of what are you trying to get away from and what are you looking to work towards, that sense of fulfillment. I use the word fulfillment. Okay, so what are you going to do going away from tonight? If you have done your goals, and I can hear a few of you experienced one saying, well, I've done my goals. Well, I'm going to challenge you, okay? And if your business isn't growing at the speed you want it to grow, or if you are not consistent in your business, I would ask you to go back and revisit your goals and redo your vision board. It's something I don't just do once a year or once every 2 years. These recent vision boards were done on the 30th of June. It's something I do very, very regularly because it re-inspires, re-motivates. You know, we can coach, mentor, train, guide, lead, etc. But the only person who can motivate you is you, and that comes from your goals. Have your goal, your vision boards everywhere. Screensavers on your phone, on your laptop. They're hung around the house wherever I spend time. It is fueling my mind and my thoughts and my subconscious all the time. And so if you're like me and you think it's a little bit airy-fairy, it's okay. Trust the process, embrace it, because it is a life skill. And once you learn it, it will change your life forever. So I'm now going to pass you to...
You've got some questions, Diana.
Oh,
Yes.
we have some questions.
Questions.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So how do I regain my mojo and never lose it?
I think
Okay.
Diana should explain that.
I think I just did.
Yes, you did.
So, did I? So, why? Okay, so let's go back. What are you prepared to work for? Your goals will change over time. You know, in the beginning, it could be need goals where, you know, I'm working with someone who, when they achieved 500 pounds a month, it was life-changing because it meant they no longer ran out of money every month. And then this person moved on to the nicer goals, the wish goals, the nice to have goals. And that's why we keep resetting goals. You know, it's not about handbags and new cars or a new sofa or new curtains. It could be about doing some volunteer work, or it could be about, helping someone out in your family. It's getting back to what is going to make you feel fulfilled. Taking that time. Listen, you're going to have to do the work. Yeah, I don't have a magic wand, okay? We are half the magic fairy dust in this relationship, but you're the other half. You've got to find a quiet place and think about, you know, what's going to give you that sense of fulfillment. It's got to come from within. Any other questions, Philo?
Yeah. I'm going to answer a question. I don't know if I don't know if you've seen it, Philo, but I did message you. At what point do you
I've got one. Okay, Jane.
Go
At
on.
what point do you allow your downline to be independent and you stop holding their hand?
Yep.
This is a brilliant, brilliant question. So thank you for asking it, Miranda. Listen, there is no finite time that you leave your downline to be independent. There's 3 stages of growth with a brand new FBO. You've got their first 90 days to 1 year where they will be pretty dependent on you for certain aspects of the business. So they will be a dependent FBO. And that will be, it could be dependent on helping them do phone calls or one-to-ones or doing their first planners. But then you'll get to a stage where they become interdependent. And that interdependency is when they are able to do a launch, able to do a one-to-one, able to invite to a VP, able to do a planning meeting, but maybe what they need is a bit of help with the ABC, which is the duplication. And then you get to a stage where you've got full dependency. And who knows when that will come, because again, you've got 2 types of FBO. You've got the FBO that you know in your heart of hearts is going to go on from assistant supervisor to manager. They may need input at all levels are getting there. But once they get manager, you can see in them the potential to go on and be Eagle, Chairman's Bonus, car program and travel. But even more importantly, that they are going to scale, promote through the marketing model. This becomes your A team. And look, Diana, Chris and Philo have been in the business 19 and 20 years respectively, but we still work together. They are not dependent on me, but we brainstorm, we share ideas. If I need to give input, I give input, and they still learn, because guess what? They want to improve even more. So this is not about completely just letting go of your team and stop holding their hands. It's about the work that you do at each stage.
I know we've got loads of questions, but they're across a whole variety of topics. Can I make a suggestion? All these questions, write them all down in your books. A lot of them will be covered as we go through the time that we're going to be sharing together. If when we come to the questions, it would be great if they're kind of related to the topic that we're talking about, so we don't end up going all over the place.
Yeah.
But write your questions down, still put them in the box. If you don't get to your questions tonight, please, it's important you connect with your upline manager, and you'll be in either Chris, Philos, James, or my team, or speak to us, because questions are really important. So it's going to help build your confidence.
Also, I just want to say something. I hope I don't offend, but I'm going to say it anyway. We will not answer any questions from anybody who is an anonymous attendee. We will only answer questions from people who have registered their full name, and we know where you are, where you've come from, and whether you're in the team. So anonymous, you've been asking a lot of questions. You need to update your profile. Just saying.
Can I just say about the questions as well, that a lot of the questions that are being asked, we're going to cover these very points, not just tonight, but in the next 2 Sundays that are coming up. So if you write your questions down, as Diana suggested, and at the end of week 3, if we haven't answered them, then come back to us with those questions, because everything you're asking is going to be covered in these next 3 weeks. I think one point that would be good to answer, it's being asked by quite a lot of people, and maybe we could each give one example, but what audiobook for personal development? There isn't just one. I'd just like to kick off by giving my recommendation for a brand new FBO or somebody who's been in the business even for as long as me, 22 years, and that is The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Once you understand the compound effect, makes sense of everything else. So The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson would be my recommendation. Rest of the questions, save for week 3.
I think my recommendation for a brand new FBO is Attitude is Everything by Jeff Keller. It's really simple, and it embraces a lot about the goal setting, your mindset, the simplicity of the business. It's not too overwhelming. And for those that are really into personal development, my mentor, and I'm so grateful I've had the chance to meet him and talk with him, and that's John Maxwell. 21 Laws of Leadership, John Maxwell changed my life. But I could go on and on and on. There are some incredible books.
And for me, it was an audio cassette tape that I listened to and probably still can regurgitate 95% of, which was a magic one for me when I was growing my team in the early days. And you can listen to it on YouTube for free. You just got to Google it. It's by Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Business. Because there's a day that you get into network marketing, and there's a day that network marketing gets into you. And once you click with that, I think it's only 30-40 minute audio, you will build that skyscraper that I talk about. You will be unstoppable forever.
Totally true. I get that. Okay, Diana. And what I love about what Diana said, and I know that Philo and Chris do the same, so do I, is that, we can all revert back to our initial goal books and dream boards, and one day I'll show you mine, but we've all got current dream boards, we've all got current goal books, and they're ongoing. It's about the work and the forever dream book, it's about the personal and the family dream book, And it's always good to have a goal behind a goal behind a goal. Because once you achieve a goal, you don't want to sit down and go, what next? It should already be in your mind and you're working towards it. So thank you for that, Diana. And now we're going to go into understanding case credits. So let's go through understanding case credits and how the simplicity of explaining what a case credit is, the requirements of Forever, and just the simplicity of understanding them. You know, when I first joined Forever Living, I remember getting my box, I remember taking it home, I remember putting it on the table, emptying all the products out, trying them. You know, I even remember when I took my very, very first sip of aloe. And I can't say that I loved it when I took my first sip, but I knew it was doing me good. And then I remember placing my first order. You've got to bear in mind, this is 27 years ago. There wasn't any training in the UK. There was nothing really that we could sort of plug into. It was such a new opportunity in the UK, but linked to a company that already had a 16-year track record. And I remember putting my first order in and getting sent a pink sheet in the post, which was a copy of my order and the case credits. And I thought to John, I said to John, I said, this now makes sense. I get it. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, I remember listening to Chris saying to us that when we get started in Forever, the company doesn't make any requirements of us in the respect that they're going to be on the phone, following us up, cracking the whip, you've got to do more. You know, it's our business. We can do as much or as little as we want. We can be committed to our goals or not. We have those choices. It's entirely up to us. But if we want to build a business where we're paid on the turnover of our entire team, locally, nationally, and globally, then we need to be 4cc active per month. And I'll never forget hearing that for the first time. And I thought to myself, well, if that's one of the only requirements in getting rewarded on the turnover of my team, I'd better learn how to do that. And so I joined on the 13th of August, 1993. And in the first last 2 weeks of August, I did 8.81 case credits. And I have never, ever, ever done less or 4cc's any month that I've been in Forever. You see, I never do 4 case credits, I always do more. And that is because I realized on day one, it was a discipline, it becomes a habit, it becomes your example, and it becomes what you can coach, not by telling, but by showing. So first of all, what is a case credit? Well, a case credit is our internal company currency. We trade in 160 odd countries around the world. And as Diana said, you can build anywhere that you know people. And one of the beauties about Forever is we do not have to worry about currency conversion. The company take care of all of that. And they've done it very professionally by introducing a point system on the product. And that point system is on individual products or boxes of products. And that point system is called a case credit. Now, this value of a case credit will be country dependent. So wherever you are in the country that you're calling on in from tonight, this may differ a little bit, give or take. But here in the UK, a case credit at wholesale is 170 and at retail is 244. As FBOs, we always work at the wholesale point of purchase. We make our retail profit when we market a product, and we get our discounts as well at point of purchase. So it's a very effective, very succinct global internal currency that works so beautifully. So if I'm talking to my Italian team and Maria Louisa said we've done this many case credits, I know exactly what she's talking about. If I'm talking to my Zim team and they say we've done this many case credits, I definitely need to know what they're doing because the currency there fluctuates literally day in, day out. So it becomes really easy to monitor. It's the internal currency. So when we look at this 4 case credits, how do we actually break it down? Because when I first saw first case credits, I thought I had to go out and sell, and that was the only way to do the case credits. And it's not. You know, case credits are done by having a balance of activity. And if you want to build a really solid business and duplicate that business, you need to have balance in all you do. If the pendulum springs too far to one way and you do it all through retail and very little recruiting, then you won't grow a team. If you do it all through recruiting, but you don't underpin your business with teaching everybody how to retail, then people will struggle if they don't recruit in the month. So what we're looking for is a completely well-balanced 4cc business. So it's important that we start looking at how we build a retail base and also how we create volume through our own personal use. So every single product you buy for you and your family and your loved ones, that will go towards your case credits each and every calendar month. Now, this is really important to know, because the more that you explore the product range, then obviously the more case credits you're going to get through your own personal use. And we know on average that the average household will use between half a case credit and 2 case credits per month. There is a big range there, because probably when we all start, as we're getting our cash flow going, we don't use quite so much. But as our cash flow grows and our profitability grows, we're going to add to our personal use and the case credits will grow. Then we're going to promote the product, and we're going to go through the retailing strategy in the next couple of weeks. But retailing is really, really important. Product has to flow out to end user. The sign of any good business is customers purchasing product and then reordering. This is not about a one-off sale and never ever any more purchasing. It's about that customer buying with you. It's about you nurturing them and looking after them, and then coming back to repeat month in, month out, and also referring you on to people. We look for you to initially build a customer base of around about 20 customers. And let's say those 20 customers are spending around £25 per month each. That's £500 turnover, which is around about 2 to 2.5 case credits. So with your own personal use and what you retail, you should be aiming to do between 2.5 to 4 case credits per month just in those activities. And that's something you need to build up to as a good way, as a good discipline and a good habit. You know, ideally, for a really good, strong FBO, you know, I like to see them doing 6 to 8 case credits of retail every month. Sometimes a bit more, sometimes a little less, but maybe averaging that out. And then the other thing we're looking for is recruiting. Because when you've got the balance of retail and recruiting right, then you've really got the magic ingredient to building this business. And what we look to do is we look to get you in the first 90 days comfortable with your recruiting, you know, recruiting 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or 4 FBOs. But in that first 90 days, we're looking for you to learn the skill sets that you need to learn to go on and then recruit a minimum of 2 assistant supervisors on average every month. Now, when I say on average, you know, some months you may recruit a few more, could be a month where you don't recruit any, but if you look at it averaging across the year, we're looking at you to be recruiting, you know, between 20 and 30 people if you want to make a real success in this business. And to give you, to put this into context, when I started my Forever journey, in my first full year, which started on the 1st of January 1994, I recruited 33 people. So just over, just under 33 a month, and that was absolutely spot on. I would have liked it to have been 5, but at that time I had no understanding of what stats looked like or what expectations were, because it was all so new. But looking back, if I'd recruited between 3 and 5, it would have exploded even more. So what we're looking for is that balance between what you use, what you retail, and what you recruit. And if you've got that balance right and you can do it yourself, what you do, you will be able to teach really, really easily. So one of the things we also go on to look at is how to kind of advance your business beyond just your start your journey box. You know, I'm saddened sometimes to see people join a business that they know can change their lives, that they know can make them 3,000 or 4,000 a month, 50,000 a year, a 6-figure income that can be a legacy business for them and their families, but all they ever do is invest in one box and never try any other products. So for me personally, something I think is really, really important is to understand how to quickly advance your understanding of the business packs that we use and how to promote the product quickly. And one of the things that we recommend is, as soon as finances allow it, to invest in your experience pack box. This is 1 case credit. So in the first month, if you can get your Start Your Journey pack, there's 2 case credits. If you can get your experience pack towards the end of the month, there's another case credit. With what you'll retail, you'll do 4 case credits easily. You'll do more. But what the experience pack does, it gives you a working toolbox. It's a box full of product with the experience pack bags inside and all the literature that you need to put together a certain amount of packs that you can then take to people, allow them to try them in the comfort of their own home, collect them back, and take an order off people. So it's very efficient, but obviously in this time that we live in, be mindful of sanitation of products at all times, and be working within a social distancing rules. And then if you're really ambitious, really ambitious about your business, and certainly this is what I would have chosen if it had been available when I started forever, we've got called the Advance Your Business Box. Now, the Advance Your Business Box is for those that are dead serious about the business. They don't want to wait. They want all of the products they need to build a business on day one. And the Advance Your Business Box is 3 case credits. So if you've purchased your Start Your Journey pack at 2 cc's, if within 7 days or through to the end of the month, you then buy your Advance Your Business Box, what that will give you is 5 cc's total, but more importantly, it will give you, in the Advance Your Business Box, you will have a C9. So you can immediately start using the C9, which is very important, because I do believe the C9 very quickly allows people to see you, visibly see just how much of an impact the product's having on the way you look and feel. And if you document it in the correct way, if you blog it in the correct way, within your social media pages, you can get a huge amount of traction with people wanting to know what you're doing and following you with intrigue. It also contains duplicates of the fastest moving products. So you've got the Start Your Journey pack for you to use all the products, and you've got the Advance Your Business pack to retail from immediately. So you haven't got to wait to place an order. If somebody, in your village, in your town, in your where you live says, well, I'd love a couple of aloe vera gels, you can go straight to your cupboard, get them and move them on immediately. And there's nothing like the ability to be able to supply a product immediately that somebody wants it. Not say, yes, I'm putting an order in next week, I'll get it for you. Because when you move a product immediately, people are buying from their emotional side of the brain, i.e., they have connected with you. The emotional side of the brain says, I want that Propolis cream, or I want some of the nutrition, or I want the drinks, or I want the C9, and they want it there and then. If they have to wait a long time for it, then the logical side of the brain kicks in, and maybe they'll tell you a reason why they don't want it. So if you're serious about the business, personally for me, it's either a Start Your Journey and an experience pack, or a Start Your Journey and an Advance Your Business pack. And I can honestly say those people that have purchased the Advance Your Business pack, you do see them get off to a really flying start with the retail and with the products that they can use, because in that box, you've also got the bags that you can put your experience packs together. So it really is very, very, very efficient. So that's a little bit about understanding case credits, the need to do 4 cc's every single month. As far as I'm concerned, it's not an option to not do them, because when I first joined the business, Diana, Philo, Chris, we were all the same. If that's the only requirement, we will do it. We will not do it 1 month and not the second month. We'll not give it a go. We'll not try. We will do it. We will make it happen. And with that mindset of we will do it, we will make it happen, it's interesting how you'll be more committed to your business. Remember the success wheel? When you take action, it builds your belief, your understanding, and your commitment. So really important that you get your heads around 4 case credits and then you teach it. And here's the thing, you can't teach the theory, you can only teach the reality. And if you're doing 4 CCs, you can take somebody by the hand and you can show someone how to do exactly the same. So another way of moving your case credits forward is buying 2 or 3 C9s, one to use and one to retail. I've gone through the experience pack, I've gone through the Advance Your Business. You know, it's about having product and it's about having the commitment to move that product out to an end user. The C9s are a phenomenal way to create big volume very quickly. The C9 program is amazing. You do it yourself. And if you buy a C9 to get started, do it yourself, blog it, vlog it, let everybody know what you're doing, buy 3 more, move them out as quickly as possible to 3 customers. You make great profit on each C9 that you retail, reinvest that back in, get the boxes out again, and then up-level your C9 customers. It really is very, very, very simple. So we're not saying to buy an excessive amount of product. That is not what I'm talking about. You have not heard me talk about buying anything that is not product that you will either use or move out. I'm not a great advocate of buying lots and lots of products, but I'm a great advocate of having the product that you need to build a business. You know, this is your shop window, so therefore make sure you've got some business in your Aloe shop, some product in your Aloe shop to sell. So when you master the art of 4 case credits and you teach your team to master 4 case credits, then everything on the marketing plan is simple. And if you just hold that thought for a moment, everything on the marketing plan is simple when you can do 4 CCs and teach 4 CCs. So before I go into the marketing plan, are there any questions that we need to answer at this moment, Philo, Chris, that are relevant right now? If so, please ask me.
I think you've answered most of them, Jane. I think we can carry on to the marketing plan.
Okay, cool, brilliant, right. So unlocking the potential of the marketing plan. This is one of my favorite parts of the business to train other people. And I love it because it's such a simple model that has got so much inherent profitability written into it. And yet most people just do not understand where the profit margins are. So before I go into the marketing model, let's be clear on some of the benefits of the marketing plan. And you need to understand one of the most lucrative key points in the history of network marketing to date. And that is Forever Living's ability to pay all of our bonuses based on the retail value of the product ex VAT. Now this is relevant because we buy our products wholesale. Every single one of us buys our products at wholesale. But at the end of the month, the company will take your own turnover and the turnover of your team. They will convert it to the retail value of the productivity of your own personal use and your team, and then they will pay you your bonus. So if you go looking at any new shiny network marketing company and they say, yes, but the bonuses in this company are paid at XYZ, you can very, very professionally say, I hear what you say, but it's still the wholesale value. Forever Living pay their bonuses on the retail value. And I've not come across any other company that does this. In fact, the first bonus check we ever got, John and I were convinced that they'd overpaid us because we didn't understand it all on day one, what John had done is he'd worked the bonuses out on our wholesale turnover. And when we got our bonus check, it was a lot bigger than we thought it was going to be. And you know why? Because it was the retail value. So I truly need you to understand this point. It is so important. And it's so generous of Forex. No one can bypass you on the marketing model. That doesn't mean to say that you won't have people who will build bigger businesses than you. That's exactly what you want. but no one can get to you and bypass you and come in above you and then go upwards. Everybody in your team is in your team. So for example, I'll give you a quick idea of what I say. My sponsor is a Sapphire manager, and me and John, we are 6 managers away from being double diamond. That means we have a business which is multiple times bigger than our sponsor. So whilst we have a bigger title, we have a bigger business, we're bigger in every single way, we are still in his team. We are still recruited by him. So no one can bypass you. Now, a bit of a tip here. That means that you want to go looking for people who potentially can be as good as, if not better than you, because this gives you real security in the foundations that Diana was talking to you about. All positions on the marketing model are permanent unless you decide just not to work the business. And then after a 2-year period, your ID, well, after a 1-year period, your ID number can be restarted if you so choose, but all the positions on the marketing plan are permanent. Your income and promotions are down to you. You know, we can work with you, we can coach you, we can give you the finest input, the finest of everything. But if you're not prepared to work, then nothing happens. You can't be made redundant, it can't be taken off you unless you're unethical or you compromise the company's policy and their rules, in which case you can be terminated. And your ID number is a willable asset. In other words, you're building a business for this generation and for the next generation and the next generation. And what's really amazing now is the interaction that I still have with Rex. I actually spoke to him on my birthday, which was a real joy. The interaction I have on a more working basis now with Greg. And while we were at the last rally, I spent quite a bit of time with Drew, which is Greg's son. And Drew is now beginning to work at the base level in the company. As Greg says, he has to get his understanding over the next 5-10 years, so the next generation are ready to succeed and keep forever going forever. Think of the safety in the business that you're building. So let's dive into the marketing model. Now, again, I'm going to go through this with you, quite quickly, but I want you to follow it and make notes against the marketing model in your first steps to manager. Because, sometimes you need to hear this once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. Some people are very digital in their ability to pick up and retain digital information, i.e. numbers and percentages. Some people are quite visual, so they'll be able to see it and pick up on it at the same time, understand it. If you're like me, it took me quite a while, a few weeks and months to really understand the simplicity of the business. For me, I kind of had to feel it. As it was beginning to happen, I could see it, feel it, and understand it. So make notes. As I say, if we've got any questions on the marketing plan, if we've got time tonight, we'll answer them. If not, we'll endeavour to answer them next week when we go into the royalty side. So, assistant supervisor. Assistant supervisor is, for the majority of the people on this call tonight, a position that you are in right now. A position at any time for all of us that we've been in when we first started in Forever. This is where you've been invited to look at the business. You have maybe had a one-to-one or a video. As a result of the one-to-one or a video, you've liked what you've seen. You've come on to a meet the team or a business presentation where you've been given more information. As a result of that information, you've fallen in love with what you've seen. This is going to be your vehicle. You get your questions answered. And as a result, you register with Forever and you purchase your Start Your Journey pack, your 2cc starter pack. And that immediately promotes you to what we call an assistant supervisor. Now, I know that in some countries, for some people, you're going to come in as a Novus customer or a preferred customer to begin with and access the bottom end of the discount, but we're going to go straight in at the marketing plan proper, which is assistant supervisor. Now, as an assistant supervisor, you access 35% wholesale retail bonus on all the products that you conversationally share with your customers. So to give you an idea, if you take the aloe vera gel, here in the UK, at wholesale, that's £15.11. It retails at £22.95, which means for every gel that you retail, you make £7.83. And if you look at the C9, and this is why we believe the C9 programme is a very lucrative programme, it wholesales at 76, retails at 113, you make £36.36p profit. Now you can very quickly begin to see how profitability can grow just by retailing these products. Propolis Cream, which is the one product that I got excited about when I joined Forever, you make £4.81p profit on each of those, on that product. And across the board, you'll be able to work out from your wholesale retail order forms what the profitability is on each product. When you recruit somebody, you make £39 profit. And you do that because every new person that joins you and they buy their box, they buy it at the wholesale value. The difference between what they buy it at, which is 15%, what you buy it at, what you're at, which is 35, leaves 20% in the kitty for you to get your £39, what I call coaching bonus. For every case credit you retail, you make £86 profit. So if we give you an example here, if you retail 2 case credits, there's £172 profit. If you recruit 2 new assistant supervisors, there's £80 profit. And if you add that together, you've made £252, which means you've recruited, you've got a return on your investment, and you're into pure profit. Now, where else do you know in the world where you can invest an amount of money into your business? Here in the UK, it's just under £200. And in 2 or 3, 4 weeks, you can get a return on that investment as well as recoup your investment. It's just incredible. Can my downline earn more than I do? Of course they can. If they've built a bigger business than you, of course they can. Example number 2, and this is really interesting, how you nearly double your income just by retailing 2 more case credits. So if you retail 4 case credits, 344, recruit 2 assistant supervisors, £80, now your total profit and bonus is £425. So you can now understand why I say build up a 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 cc of retail business, because, you know, look at the income you're making. If you retailed 8 case credits, there's £688 in the bag just from retailing. You know, that pays the rent, it goes towards the mortgage, it pays off debt, it pays some bills, it takes the pressure away from the family. And this is why you need to understand the balance in the business and where you make your profitability. So for those people looking to make an extra £200 to £400 per month as an assistant supervisor, that's how you will begin to access those kind of incomes. Now, if you can understand that, and if you can do that, then you can duplicate it. And this business is all about duplication. You have to learn the power of duplication. You recruit someone, you help them recruit someone, you help them recruit someone, and before you know it, you've got the A, B, C, 3 levels deep in your team, then you go wide, and you've got the foundations in place. So a supervisor is somebody with a team of around about 3 to 5 people, and very often people do supervisor all by themselves. There's nothing wrong with that, but remember about the balance. But typically with a team of 3 to 5 people, when you and your team collectively do 25 of these case credits in 2 months or less, then you have reached the heady heights of supervisor, and you're going to get a pay increase in 2 key areas. You're going to get a pay rise based on your own personal activity, i.e. you buy what you want to use personally at 38% discount, and the products that you retail, now you're making a higher profitability. So let me give you an example. For that same bottle of aloe vera gel, you're now making £8.40 instead of just over £7. You're making £39.30 instead of £36. And you're making, for a super green, you're making just short of £14 for 1 bag of super greens sold. So you can begin to see just by promotion, you know, from assistant supervisor to supervisor, how you're beginning to scale your income and your ability to have a pay rise every month. For every case credit that you retail now, you're making £92 instead of £86. So, you know, you're making a really nice, significant income there. And now when you recruit somebody, you're making £45 rather than £39. So not massive jumps, but jumps that are big enough to say, you know what, this is beginning to work. I'm beginning to see another area of income open up to me, not just based on being promoted to another position and your wholesale retail, not just on your recruiting, but the next area of income that you're going to see open up to you is what we call your team building. And once you see a team building income open up, it starts to get very, very exciting. Now, when you recruit somebody into your business, if you are a supervisor on 38% and you recruit me, lucky you if you did. If you recruited me and I'm brand new and I'm an assistant supervisor, I'm on 35%. So if I'm just starting as you did before you went to supervisor, I'm on 35%, you're on 38%. The difference between me and you is 3%. So the company say, well done for expanding the business through recruiting and showing that person how to use the product, retail the product and begin to build a team. We will pay you a coaching bonus, a team leading bonus of 3%. So then let's just say that you also recruited Diana. So you've got me and you've got Diana and you've got Philo or Chris. You've now got 3 people in your team. You're teaching each and every one of them to do 4 case credits. And you're now getting 3% on each of them. And if they have a team member, anybody in their team as well. So for every team member you have that does 4 case credits, that makes you £25 profit. So let's have a look at the example here as to how that impacts upon your earning. So if you retail 2 case credits, you make £184. If you recruit 2 assistant supervisors, you now make £92. And if you have 2 assistant supervisors, just 2 of us, maybe the third one joined towards the end of the month, you make £50 profit. That means you've got £326 profit that's going into your bank account as a result of using the product, sharing the product, recruiting people in your team and teaching them to be proactive. However, let's just look at what happens if you just look at the way that you build a business in a slightly different way. Let's go from 326 to 510. Let's put just short of £200 on your check. All you do is retail 4 case credits instead of 2 case credits. That's all you do. Because by retailing an extra 2 case credits, you're going to put an extra £180 on your check, which means that now you're making £510. Now let me ask you a question. You can do this from the comfort of your own home. You can do this on a laptop, on a mobile phone, on a desktop, via Zoom, via one-to-one meetings, WhatsApp meetings. You can do this by working in your community, socially distancing. This has got to be the simplest way to make £500 that I know, without you having to go stacking shelves, working in a cafe, working in a restaurant, or doing something where you're being paid minimum wage. I'm not decrying that in any way, shape or form. We have all done it to survive. But think about building a business that's going to yield you $500 a month by putting the foundations in place to scale. Because if you make £500 a month in a second income job, you can't scale. You just can't scale. Second jobs don't scale to become hundreds and then thousands. But in Forever, this position is getting you ready to go to assistant manager and then to manager and then to royalty, and then the world is your oyster. So next position on the marketing plan is that of assistant manager. And I can remember assistant manager as if it were yesterday. I did supervisor in 6 weeks, assistant manager in 10 weeks. And you know what, guys? I wasn't particularly skilled. I wasn't particularly proficient. I didn't understand the marketing model, all the percentages. I did understand the case credits. That was easy. But I didn't get all the percentages to begin with. All I understood was that every month my check was going up and my team was growing out, and I loved that. But assistant manager is a business model that where you and a team of maybe 10 to 15 people, maybe in the UK and Europe, in Africa we do know maybe it's 15 to 25, you maybe need a few more people, but typically 10 to 15 people, where collectively over 2 consecutive months or less you've done 75 case credits. Now, in doing that, you working with your team, helping them do 4 case credits, helping them to understand the system, helping them to duplicate, as some of your team will do now, you are going to see quite a significant jump in your income. You know, I truly believe that when you build your business from supervisor to assistant manager, if you've got people in place, you will see a significant jump. Let me explain what I mean. Well, the first significant jump we see is in the retail. You know, for exactly the same bottle of gel that you retail to a new customer or to a repeat customer, you're now making £9.36, and I think it was £7.80 something as an assistant supervisor. You know, your C9 has gone up to £44, you know, rather than £32. So just on the retail that you're doing, it's exactly the same customers that are repeating with you. It's exactly the same process to get a new customer. You have put a significant amount on your bottom line just through retailing. So for every case credit you retail now, you're not making 82, you're making £102 profit. As a supervisor, you're making 92. You're making £102 profit. Now, I want you to think about this logically. If you retail 10 case credits, you made £1,000 profit. Now, I want you to think about that in relation to maybe a full-time job. You know, I know people who are working full-time in a job. They're working 40 hours a week, and they're working, you know, 4 weeks of the month. That's 160 hours to make an income on average of around about £2,500 a month, which is on average what our national average wage in the UK is. And yet here we are saying, if you retail 10 case credits for the product in a month, and it won't take you 160 hours to do that, you can make £1,000 profit alongside maybe a full-time job, or to pick up where a full-time job has disappointed you, let you down, you've been made redundant, you've been furloughed, or you've got no security. And I'm going to show you now how you can begin to scale that, because I really don't think that people truly understand the profitability of the marketing model. It is quite remarkable, but you've got to start moving through it to begin to unlock each profit center. As an assistant manager, instead of making 49, you're making £55 for every supervisor that you recruit. You know, I'll show you what that means in a minute, because it's really interesting to see the example. Now, what happens now? You have got 43% of everything you use. You buy at 43% of everything you use. Every time you sell a product, you're making 43% profit. And every time you recruit somebody into the business, you're now making a differential on what you're on and what they're on. So let me explain what I mean. You have an assistant supervisor here. Let's just say it's Diana. And Diana's just started. Just today has just started. You've been in a little while. You're an assistant supervisor. You're an assistant manager. You're on 43. Diana is on 35. The difference between 35 and 43 is 8%. So Forever Living will pay you 8% of everything Diana does. So it's in your interest to help her understand how to use the product. It's in your interest to help her understand how to create a customer base. It's in your interest to help her duplicate. Because in helping her understand the basics of the business, Forever is saying, well done you You have coached Diana to become proficient in those areas. We will pay her 35% on everything she does, and 8% on everything she does comes to you from Forever. This is not being paid out to you by an upline, a downline, a sideline. This is Forever Living paying you and saying, well done. So for every assistant supervisor who does 4 case credits, you make £65 profit. Now imagine if you had 10 of those. There's £650. On top of your 10 case credits retail, there's £1,600 for the month. Oh my goodness, this is now becoming serious money. And all you're doing is using the product, sharing the opportunity and coaching people. And you can have as many assistant supervisors that you've personally recruited as you want, which goes back to what I said at the beginning. If you can recruit 2 to 3 to 4 a month, get them proactive, you begin to see your check grow, you begin to see the case credits grow. Now let's say you've got somebody here who's a little bit ambitious and they've been in a little bit longer than your assistant supervisors. They've been in a couple of months, they've caught the vision, they've become a supervisor, and they're on 38%. Let's just say this is Philo. So Philo is chasing you up the plan. She's ambitious, she's hungry, she shows up, she's habit driven, she's consistent, more importantly, she's serious. You spend your time with her because through her actions, she has made herself visible to you as being somebody who is worthy of your team, of your time. She's not complaining, she's not moaning, she's not grumbling, she's on point. So you will give her priority time. Now this is what happens. She is on 38%, you're on 43%. The difference between 43 and 38 is 5%. Forever Living will now pay you 5% on Philo and everybody in her team. Yeah, you heard me right. Philo and everybody in her team. So for every supervisor that averages out at 15 case credits, that's £152 profit. Now let's pull this together and look at it in a more structured way. If you retail 2 case credits, £204 profit. If you recruit 2 assistant supervisors, £112 profit. If you've got just 1 assistant supervisor who does 4 case credits, £65. If you've got 2 supervisors doing 15 case credits, £300, your total profit for the month is £681. Now, when I went assistant manager, my profitability for the month I went assistant manager was £601. And this was a structure that looked a bit like this. Now, imagine what would happen if it looked like this. Let's say that you retailed 4 instead of 2. There's 408. Let's say you did exactly the same. You recruited 2, you had 1 assistant supervisor do 4, 2 supervisors do 15. You've gone from 681 to 885, and all you did was retail 2 more case credits. You see, every pay rise, whether it be a small or a big one, is down to you and your productivity. Do a little, get a little. Do an average amount, get an average income. Do a lot, get a lot. And what will happen if you do a lot, you begin to watch it scale as you go further and further through the marketing plan. Now, the next position on the plan is that of a manager, and a manager is a position that each and every one of you should be committed to achieving. This is where you have a perfect freestanding home-based business that is yielding you substantial monthly incomes, that is getting you ready to go on to the incentives and access the royalty income. But more importantly, when you get to the position of manager, we truly believe that you have served your apprenticeship. When you get to assistant manager, I've got 1 minute left. When you get to assistant manager, we know that you've learnt the basics. We know that you are ready to become an interdependent and an independent FBO. So what does being a manager mean to you? Well, when you're a manager, having done 120 or over 2 months or 150 over 4 months, then you are going to get another pay rise. you are going to be promoted to 48% on everything you use, on everything you retail, and that makes a massive difference. You know, C9, you're just making short of £50. You know, a bottle of gel over £10. Sell 10 gels, there's £100. A super green, £16. Sell 10 super greens, £160. This is not rocket science. Know where you make your money. It's really, really important. So for every case credit you retail now, you're not making 102, you're making 113. You know, this begins to get crazy money. You've only got to get your calculator out and now start doing the sums and look at how you want to balance your business, and you realise profit margins, profit margins. This is where I need to function. This is where I need to focus. This is a business. It's not a hobby. It's not something we play at. You need to know your business inside out. For every assistant supervisor you recruit now, you're making £65 profit. When you first started, you were making £39. £65. Now, for every assistant supervisor that you have recruited, you're now making £105 profit. Now, here's Diana. She's now recruited somebody, so you've got 2 assistant supervisors. She's not yet a supervisor, so you'll make 13% on her and her team. I can honestly tell you this is one of the most lucrative parts of the marketing model when you're a manager and you're working with brand new assistant supervisors as you begin to grow them. It's unbelievable the amount of money you can make with recruiting and teaching, recruiting and teaching. And I cannot emphasize enough the amount of money that you'll make. In fact, what I'm going to do on One Training, I've still got my original bonus recaps, and I am going to share them online with you at some stage so you can see what I did in my first 14 weeks in black and white. Then you're going to understand what this marketing plan means. For every supervisor who does 15 case credits, you now make £303 profit. That's incredible. Because you're on 38, you're on 48, they're on 38, the difference is 10. So Forever are going to pay you 10% on everybody in this team, everybody. Not just Diana, everybody. Then you've got an assistant manager come up behind you. Let's say this is Chris. And Chris is very ambitious. She's on point. She's assistant manager. She's got a great team building. She's duplicating well. She's got the ABC working. It's all looking good. She's on 43%. You're on 48%. The difference is 5. So Forever will pay you 5% on Chris and every single person in her team. Now, this is why it pays you to work with your superstars. Because I'd rather have 5% on 10 to 15 people than 13% on one person that makes every excuse in the book as to why they're not going to do anything. Because you will have some of those. However, you could have an assistant supervisor that's ready to race through the plan. Work with those people, they're brilliant. So let's have a look at what that means. A supervisor, an assistant manager, has to do 75 case credits over 2 consecutive months. Let's average them out for this example at 45 cases. So let's say Chris does 45 cases, that's worth £455 to you. £303 on your supervisor. £105 on your assistant supervisors. Let's look at the profitability. If you retail 2 case credits, you're now making £226. If you recruit 2 assistant supervisors, £132. If you've got 1 assistant supervisor who does 4 case credits, £105. 2 supervisors who do 15 case credits, just over £600. Total, £1,068. But look at this. If you do 4 case credits instead of 2, £482. But if you have an assistant manager who does 45, that's £455. You've now gone through to £1,854 income. And all you've done is use the product, share the opportunity, build a team and work with those who want to build a business. I went to manager in 14 weeks. As I said before, I was ignorance on fire, hadn't got a clue what I was doing, didn't totally understand the whole structure, but every single day I shared a product, shared the opportunity, and every single day I was doing one-to-ones the good old-fashioned way. I was out meeting people, half an hour here, an hour there. I never counted the hours. I didn't do anything other than focus on the case credits for manager. Because I realized the quicker I could get to manager, the quicker I could access the high-end bonuses, the quicker I could build a team that would allow me then to look at who wanted to scale, for me to go on to royalty bonuses, but more importantly, build the firmest of structures by helping other people become managers. Now, that's it tonight. I am not going to do any more on the marketing model. I know that we're going to have loads and loads of questions on the marketing model, but what I want you to do is write those questions down. And next week when we go online, we're going to start by going into the royalty side of the business and what happens as you begin not only to be a manager, but to promote managers. Because as you achieve every position, you have earned the right to coach. If you can do 4 case credits, you can coach it. If you can recruit, you can coach it. If you can be promoted, you can coach it. So imagine becoming a manager and having learnt those handful of skill sets that are going to set you free financially. What you will do going forward, and I can remember this in my own team, and Diana, Philo and Chris will echo every word. The more you do, the better you become. The more you do, the easier it becomes. Because you know without even thinking about how to do the daily disciplines, without even considering it, it becomes a habit, it becomes a consistent habit, it becomes a commitment. So this journey to manager is absolutely vital, fundamental in you going on and becoming completely financially secure. Now, it could be that you only want to make 300 or 400 a month. And if that's so, we love you to bits. You are part of our team. We embrace you, we welcome you. And of course, if you do them regularly, we will ask you to show other people how to do the same through your own coaching and teaching. But for those of you who want to scale a business, manager is key. And I can't emphasize it enough in these critical times that we're living through to understand what you've got to do to become a manager. And whilst we've gone through the schematic of the plan tonight, we've gone through a lot of percentages, a lot of case credits. Over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we are going to be showing you how to get a good retail customer base, how to recruit people, how to duplicate people. This course is going through the whole lot. So you don't need to worry about, well, Jane, it looks great on the screen, but how do I do it? We're going to show you how to do it. No worries whatsoever. So that's my slot over tonight. That's the evening finished. And I'm only 2 or 3 minutes over. I want to hand over to Diana now, who's going to close the evening up very, very quickly. But thank you all for attending. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learned a lot. Hope your eyes have been opened up to what's possible. Diana, over to you.
Okay, go. We're 3 minutes over, so I'm going to do mine in 60 seconds. So write this down. Get ready, okay? We've shared parts of our journey with you tonight. We have started to fill in the detail of what's possible, of how the marketing plan works. There has been loads and loads of questions. So some of the questions were related to what we talked about tonight. I've done a little bit of answering while Jane was doing going through the marketing plan. Can I ask each of you to go back to your sponsor and or your upline manager and or, so ideally your upline manager so Jane doesn't get bombarded.
Yes.
Please don't everybody message Jane. She will kill me, all right? You must message your upline manager, not Jane, with your questions, because the questions that are being asked are all really important and relevant to where you are at your stage in the business, so you must get them answered. So action steps from tonight, get your questions answered. Number 2 is everybody to go back and revisit their goals. Judging by the types of questions that were being asked, we want to help you ensure that you have a really solid foundation to your business. I don't care whether you've been in the business 5 minutes or 15 years. I showed you, I redid my goals 30th of June. And as we come to September, I will be doing mine again for the final 90, 120 days of the year.
Me
I
too.
want you to show your new vision boards to your upline manager. Okay? So your upline manager, if you are in my team, you can send them to your upline manager in me. If you're in Chris's team, send them to your upline manager and Chris. If you're in Philo, the same thing, but don't everybody message Jane or she will kill me, okay? But we're putting in accountability here. And also, I want you to message your upline manager. And if you're in my team, me, Chris, or Philo, but no, don't everybody message Jane. What are you going to do differently this week? You see, because what I learned is you can be a collector of information, but it's only knowledge when you apply it. And we've given you 2 hours this evening. We've given you loads of time behind the scenes, and we're going to give you some more time over the coming weeks and months. What are you going to go away and do differently? And my suggestion is August is a phenomenal base month for the rest of the year. And a lot of you may be thinking, oh, but people are on holiday, it's hot, it's raining, it's snowing, the sun is shining, the moon is bright. Whatever you want to say. I say Jane showed how we can scale up our businesses with the Advance Your Business Pack, the C9, the Experience Pack. Why settle for 4 CCs this month? You have half the month left. Why not challenge yourself to do 5 or 6 or 7? Why not go and make that commitment and invest in your business and take your business to the next level this month? So I'm going to leave you with the question. I want to thank Chris, Jane, Philo in the background, in the front ground. What are you going to do differently this week? And we'll see you next Sunday at 8.
Thank you, everybody that put Diana, Chris, Philo, as ever. Awesome team. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next week.